Hey. Just making sure my mic was working. And it is! I'm not 100% live yet. Give me a few minutes. Give me like 15 minutes. If you're seeing this right now, I'll start on time. I will start exactly at 11 o'clock. Just doing a little bit of work. Not even live on Twitch right now. That's how not live we are. Not even looking at I don't even have the chat open. That's how not live we are. All right, I've refined. I think I've correctly refined my channel stuff. Give me just one more moment. I will continue to say, give me a moment. Oh, good. Perfect, okay. Still streaming, change the chat. This is indeed public. Copy that. Shablam. Shablam-a-lam. Got that done. Music's up. The stream is active. The social media posts are posted. Perfect. All right, cool. Yeah, give me a sec. Let me go to Twitch TV. I won't hit live on Twitch yet. I'll wait till I get back. I've got 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Give me, well, 10 minutes. I don't know why I kept repeating that. That was 3 times. 10 minutes, 4 times. Damn, dude. This fucking dog. Ugh. Stinks. Sorry, still not live yet. We'll be roughly on time. Just gotta hammer down, buckle in to the thing that's happening on the screen. Woo! I am here. I'm here, as you can probably hear, I'm here. You know, last week the thing wasn't working. What thing? The thing. It was actually the, what was it? It was the error. Get rid of this error. Get rid of this. Stop with the error. I don't like the error. Get out of here. I don't care about keyframe sequencing. You bastard. Alright, so sorry, just give me one moment. Give me one moment. Gotta start streaming on Twitch. Gotta get this stuff set up. Start streaming on Twitch. We're not gonna be streaming on TikTok today because that is just so hard to maintain. Like if you're not clicking around in the app, the streaming app, if you're not clicking around in it actively for an hour, it takes your live stream off. And I assume that that's probably just something for like the amateur streamers, not amateur streamers, but like the people who only do very short streams, like a couple of days a week, and they're like super engaging. It's like, you know, the people who like walk through malls doing live streaming. That kind of thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just say screw you TikTok for the time being. it is unfortunately still the most popular platform, though it is not the most popular platform for live streaming of this fashion, which is why they're trying to push people into doing TikTok live by giving them like incentives and stuff, which is great. I mean, I would love to take advantage of that, but I just don't have the consistent viewer base. If I started to have a viewer base, then I could probably move them. Like I could say, like, you know, let's go over to TikTok, because I could actually get probably money for it. But that is not the case right now. Again, sorry, just one more moment. We're actually starting on time today. It's crazy. We started 20 minutes early, but technically we're starting on time. How does that work? It's timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. All right, 1 second. All right. Meds absorbed. Oh, I always forget to take my ADHD meds. Don't want to take that on screen. I just don't know what'll get me banned or whatever. So I just rather not do anything that the general public would be like, oh, you know, look sideways at. It's a good policy when you just starting out. All right, gotta clean this apparatus, but I can totally just switch to my camera view. I'm also gonna have to clean my glasses, but that is a different matter, and that's something that I can do while I'm here. That's an easy peasy lemon squeezy, if I say so myself. So I don't need to have this banner thing here anymore, but I'm gonna leave it up because I don't need to like really keep. I don't want to maintain it by being like, hey, you know, check it out. You guys could help me make money. You know. I had a comment the other day on one of my shorts that was like, you look like an unemployed, word you can't say, person who enjoys the company of diminutive people, which is, you know, pretty infuriating. But the funny part of it was, you look like like you have no job. And I was like, unfortunately for both of us, I have too many jobs, none of which really make me a lot of money. It's all like, this is a little more insight that I wanted to go into the business world, but a lot of the stuff that you do when networking and actual, I mean, that all counts as work, but it's all just it's all speculative work. You're hoping that these people are going to contact you. You're hoping that your friends are going to, you know, invite you to things that you might be able to network at. You're banking on a lot of what ifs. Glasses. That just means I have to find the pants I put it in, or put it in. Hold up. I don't know where my glasses cloth is. This is appalling. Oh, I found it. Where would I put that? Laundry, maybe? I don't know. I'd lose my ass if it wasn't attached. Alright, sorry, I gotta Gotta turn the Twitch on. Turn on the Twitch. Yes, authorized. We are authorized. I am an authorized representative. I don't know why I started to gargle that sentence. Also, I can't leave my glasses off for too long or else you're gonna see my lazy eye. Oh God. Is there a section? I'm sure there is a section for politics. Yes, there is. Perfect. Hello, Mr. President. Stream settings? No. Well, that just screwed everything up, didn't it? Don't look at my lazy eye. I assure you. I know it's there. Creator dashboard. There we go. I just want to make sure that I'm got the info correct on here. Talk Tuesday. Yep. Mac is a cult. Changed my mind. Yep. 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 All right. And here we are. Here we are. Oh, connection successful. S-U-C-C-E-S-S. That's the way you spell success. All right. Well, so hi, hello, and hi, and hello, and hi. Hello, hi. Hi, and hello, and hi. I always do that. I don't like labeling things. Where the hell did she go? Ita! Ita! Yep. Inside. Let me just close the screen door so that my dog does not let all the hot air in. Go on. Ita! All right. Oof. It is, I would say, like 80 degrees in here right now. It is toasty. I am toasting up. I'm posting up and I am toasting up. I need a goddamn air conditioning is what I need. You can't swear this early in the video. What's up, Psycho? How's it going? I gotta hold in my S words and my F words. Gotta hold them in till at least the first half hour. Has passed anyway. So again, hi and hello, it's 11:08. We started on time today. I'm so impressed with myself. I am so impressed with myself. It is just, hooray, I am just elated. I'm Goose. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to Talk Tuesdays. Talk Tuesdays is a day where I specifically leave the entire stream open to calls for discussion, debates, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. I mean, I think we'd all prefer to hear someone who disagrees, but, you know, whatever. If you just want to be like, hey, I ate a pizza today and it was really good, then, you know, I would agree with that pizza's really delicious, and then I would probably tell my own story about pizza. So, today, though, it's going to be a little bit different because over this past week, I had the pleasure of encountering a lot of very strange events, and I just wanted to kind of regale them because I'm writing a script for a video, and I figure if I write a script, or I don't really need to write a script, I could just put everything into the stream and then edit it down from there. That's even easier. See, now you can see my lazy eye even worse. Let me just clean these glasses. They're supposed to help correct it. At least that's what they were supposed to do since the age of 8, but it's still there. All right, so last week on Tuesday was my first opportunity to debate someone in real time, live, you know, voice to voice, person to person, what have you. I've done many, you know, armchair debates, and I've certainly argued with my wife a lot. Most of you married men can agree, am I right? But so the topic was the same as it is today, which is exactly why I left it the same today, because I kind of wanted to just see. It's not correct stream elements. Could you get it right, please? Like, for once, please, just get it right. We're not streaming Hades 2. That was Thursday. Although it does say MAGA is a cult. Okay. Anyway. Oh no, that was the theme for Thursday. Yeah, because I wanted to combine the two. I'm just remembering stuff. Anyway. So it was my first time being able to really, like, debate. And topic was the same. MAGA is a cult. Changed my mind. I got a call, and instantly, like right when I went live, someone was like, "Debate me, bro," and I was like, "Yeah," or "bet," as the kids say. And so he got on, and we exchanged pleasantries, and all in all, it was a decent conversation. He took the posture of defending racism, so obviously it's a bit of a strange. I don't want to compliment the idea, but I want to compliment the person who was sharing the idea for remaining civil throughout the encounter. That is what I mean by I had a good time. It wasn't an especially productive discussion. It was the same shit that people debate all the time, and I in general enjoy having discussions about all different kinds of topics. You know, I don't really care about, you know, debating, you know, trans issues or LGBT issues or really anything. I don't care. Like, I'll have a discussion about whatever. But and so I allowed it to kind of devolve into other things or go off on tangents, which is just fine. Like, you are staring. She's staring outside. I wanted to shut the door so that the cold air wouldn't get out. And she is just like giving me the doe eyes and staring outside. It is torture. Especially because you can see her. She's so cute. I hate disappointing her, but it's friggin' hot. So anyway, it started out as them saying, well, you could equally argue that, you know, that other side is a cult too. And it kind of just kept evolving from there into a discussion specifically about race. I took the position that racism is not a good thing, and he seemed to take the position of, and I'm just paraphrasing, this is not exactly what he said. Watch the video. It's probably, I think, the most recent one on my channel, I think. And he took the position of saying that racism is just really in-group preference, and then tried to defend that. And, you know, every time I would say, well, is it based on race? And then, like, he would redirect, and I would say, okay, if it's based on race, that's when it's wrong, and racism is wrong, so that's racism. Well, no, not ipso facto, but you get what I'm saying. And that was fine. You know, I think that we, at the end, just kind of, there wasn't really much more progress that could have been made. And so, all right, cool. End of the discussion. Thought nothing more of it. And during the discussion, he had mentioned articles to back up or give context to his point. And I was like, fuck yeah, like, cool. And so, you know, I did. It's hard for me to talk and type at the same time, so I wasn't looking for the articles then, but afterwards, when I edited the video together, I did in fact look it up, and there were a couple of articles that talked about ethnic diversity and in-group preference, and the argument he made was that the increase in ethnic diversity always leads to, not always, but majority of the time leads to increased fear and risk of danger. And I don't know the exact words, but the studies, again, I linked the studies on the description of the video, so please check that out. It has all the necessary sort of backstory lore to the preceding stuff. So I don't know if I already cleaned that part. So after I posted my video, I wanted to check the guy out to see if he had a channel and if he had like posted it, and then I could like probably cross promote. I don't know. I wanted to network, see if like there's, I do that. I naturally try to make friends with people. I try to network. I want to get shit done. Can't cuss in the first. Okay, it's been on for 30 minutes, but not on Twitch, whatever. Just trying to stay in the habit and not get out of the habit of not saying any naughty words in like the first hour, half hour. I don't know that it necessarily makes a difference, but I just don't want to get caught unawares and then get like banned or something. You know, you get what I'm saying. So, so I checked the guy out and I noticed that he's updated or uploaded a video. You know, like I think I looked maybe like the next morning, and he had uploaded it a couple hours prior to when I got online. So I don't know. I'm assuming East Coast, because that's the only reason anyone would have been up. I think I was up at like 5. So I imagine that was just like a morning upload. And I was like, okay, cool, sweet. I'll watch this and then I'll you know, comment on it. Maybe, I don't know, message the guys, see what's up. Promote each other's shit and then have another conversation. I don't know. And so I see that it's like some dude, I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name. Some dude that he was on the thumbnail. So if, oh no, the video's gone now. If you had taken the time, I actually have screenshots, so I'll show that. But it was some guy that I don't know. Okay, she actually turned on the tabletop air conditioning with her nose, and I have been finding it mysteriously turned off, and all the settings have been changed when I'd enter the room sometimes. So I think she's been doing that. Oh, it's too cold in here. Boop. Give me 1 second, I'll adjust it. These tabletop air conditionings, don't let my wife hear me say this, but they fucking suck. Well no, we're in the, not for Twitch, damn it. I'm gonna get a duster real quick, I'll be right back. I gotta get rid of these cobwebs, it is gonna kill me. It is, for some reason, the season of the spider, and they have been like parachuting down from the ceiling, little baby spiders. Oh yeah, this thing extends. What on earth? How did I not notice this was here? Oh, and that's a live spot. Okay. Well, time to burn the house down. The point that I was trying to make is that it's spider season, and they are just everywhere right now. And we're not talking like daddy long legs. I know you can hear me. I've tested that mic before. It's a very good mic, so I know that I'm being heard. It's not just like daddy long legs. It's like scary spiders. It's like those funnel webs, but like the not especially scary funnel webs. So like halfway between scary funnel webs and non-scary funnel webs. Anyway, so just rambling on. That's my ADHD right there. So the guy, he posts a video. It's a guy that I don't recognize, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I didn't see me, and so I was like, I'll just check out his newest video to see what the guy's vibe is like. And I check it out, and lo and behold, it's me in the footage. Not only that, it's my footage. The footage I recorded against like a Minecraft gameplay, which could you be more 2010 YouTuber? Like, do you have to do that? Unless you really like Minecraft, in which case that's fine. I loved Minecraft when it was popular, and when, you know, I had the patience to farm enough materials to make like one of the really complicated like modded things, like a particle accelerator or whatever. I think the most complicated thing I made was a cool thing in like one of the magic mods. It was like this really, I don't know, it was an expensive thing, and you could just basically make whatever you want once you completed it. It was cool. But I don't know if he's trying to make it, whatever. We'll get into the dude's psyche in just a moment, but I just wanted to like kind of preface this with, there's shenanigans that have been happening over the week, and I thought it was funny and wanted to share. first, I really wanted to talk about, actually, first I'll mention calls. I'm open to calls right now, but I'm probably going to still wait a little bit, just because I wanted to cover a couple of things and tell the story first without getting interrupted, and then I'm willing to take calls. So let's say, I'll try and be really, really quick. We'll say like 11:40, I'll start actually looking at the waiting room. So the waiting room is what the link is to in the description, which link is in the description. If you want to call, debate, discuss, whatever. And we're not on TikTok because screw TikTok, all right? It's too complicated. It's too much of a hassle. Let's just not do TikTok. Unless I can bring people over to TikTok. But it seems weird because like people get started on TikTok, whatever. I won't dawdle on the subject because I said I would be quick. All right, so real quick, what is due diligence? I'll connect this in a bit. Due diligence is a work term. I don't know if it's the same across all industries. I just know only about the restaurant and retail industries. Due diligence is where you try to find out as much as you can about something before you make a decision regarding that thing. That's really like simplified, but it means that you are like, let's say that you're doing an interview for an assistant manager position. This is a personal story. I had not known at the time what due diligence meant. I was just like, you want me to do due diligence? And because the guy that was above me was training me to be in his position, and so he really wanted me to just learn these like terms. I'd been a cook for a while, and I'd cooked in restaurants for about 4 or 5 years, and so I didn't know any of these corporate terms. And so he introduced the term due diligence, and I was like, huh? And he explained it, and basically what has to happen, not has to happen, but what should happen if you're hoping to attain a higher position somewhere, or if you're hoping to obtain a status of authority or knowledge about something, then you have to make sure that you are exploring every avenue that you can to learn whatever you can. Let's say that there's a story of the position or the intimate details of the job description are located in a library and online on a website, like it's whatever. It's a journey to find these things. You would go and you would do that. You would take the time to not just say, I assume that I know these things, and you would go and you would verify whatever knowledge that it is that you were trying to attain a status of authority over. That just basically means that sometimes you can live based on your own lived personal experiences, and sometimes you got to walk a mile in whoever's shoes you're trying to fill to see where they're coming from. And I mention that because your character matters in the arena of discourse, and that doesn't mean in debates. That means in discourse in general. Your character matters. If you are inherently a racist person, then you're going to speak about minorities a certain way, either dismissive or outright insulting or whatever. You're gonna speak about a group of people a certain way, and that's just instilled in you because that is, who you've become. I don't really know how else to explain it other than that character matters. If you're debating with someone and you have like Nazi propaganda all over your Twitter, then that person's probably not going to take you seriously if you try and rationalize anything that you say beyond that initial conversation. That's what I was getting at this entire time. So let's start heading down the rabbit hole real quick. Also, first I want to mention that good faith is based on whether or not someone can believe the things that you say. So if you're honestly going to say that you're here on good faith, that you're posing a question on good faith, or that you're arguing in good faith, that means that you're not going to turn around and be deceptive, and that you're not going to be slimy. So yeah, hopefully that is something that we can all learn from. And I also had another note here that says, what is a cult? But we'll save that for after this. Still no one in the waiting room. I am open to calls today. The topic is MAGA's a cult, which is an opinion that I am willing to explain and substantiate. It's not a point that I need to prove, it is an opinion. So know that before you go off, Queen. Okay. The call-in link is in the description. If not, let me know on Twitch and I'll put it in the chat. I think Twitch is probably the only place that it might not be. Let me just... it is not in there. And I did not save it. 1 second. Copy link. Shabam? My pup responded by dreaming. There it is. I think that's the right one. That looks weird. Is that right? Okay, well, I don't want to have to. This is all stupid. Making me log in. I just wanted to see. Okay. Yeah, that goes to the right place. All right, cool. It just, I don't like that long link, you know? It don't look fancy. I think there's probably a function on here. Whatever. You know what? Let's not worry about it. Let's just toss it to the side. Anyway, the subject is MAGA is a cult. If you are MAGA, that means Make America Great Again, and I'm gonna ask you to talk about it. You can't just say you're a Trump supporter. That's copping out. But first, enter the waiting room, and then you may enter the box when I pull you in, when I'm ready to talk. All right, so let's continue the story. I checked to see if he had a video because wanted to network, wanted to be like, "What's up, dude? Let's get that reciprocal stuff going, huh? Let's do it." Why? my window, my edit or my stream window just went crazy. And so I saw me with another dude's face footage. He took that from my live stream, or he downloaded it from my. It would be really weird if he recorded it from the video, like he spent the time to watch through it again. Although I know for a fact that some people watch through old videos and debates and stuff just so they can gain like insight on their performance, how they did, the points they brought up. I understand that, totally not a weird thing. Just I don't know, I probably would have downloaded it if I was that person. I don't know. But so I think initially, let me bring up one of the screenshots just to make sure that I'm. So initially, oh damn it, I didn't save the comment section. That would have been a good idea. So there's the thumbnail. Fantano destroyed. No idea who that is. I checked them out and it looks like they're more into music than anything, but they might debate like on Twitch or something. And as you can see, I got to it 6 hours after it had been posted. It already got 11 views. That's got some viral potential there. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, I got a couple options here. Normally, I don't give a shit. Like, do whatever you want. If you're gonna steal, do it. And if you get caught, then you just deal with the consequences. Which, you know, I guess that second part needs a little bit of, you know, tweaking in this guy's brain. But if you want to use my footage, I could care less. Record my voice and make it like something, you know, offensive or I don't care. I super don't care. Identity or celebrity or platform or whatever don't necessarily mean that much to me. If I can monetize it, sure, then I'd probably be a little bit more stringent about it or a little bit more strict about the stuff that I allow people to see and use and all that kind of stuff. But normally I don't really care. You can friggin' do whatever you want. In general, like if you think it's gonna work for you in the YouTube space, because I know it's hard to make it. I've been on YouTube on and off for 12 years, and at no point has anything I've done ever gone viral. So, like, I get it. But that goes into the realm of like misrepresentation. Not only is it messing with my, like, you're taking views that our cross promotion could have potentially generated for both of us, and you're funneling them to yourself, much like the Republicans do with other people's money. And you're like then putting the weight on a person bigger than me who generates more views than I do. And so, like, not only are you saying like fuck you, but you're also saying double fuck you. Like, I did not get where that was coming from. Like, I thought that I had talked to an intelligent and reasonable person, and that they just, like, in one video proved themselves not to be. And I was just like taken aback. And so I was like, dude, like, I left a comment and I said, like, it's not cool that you took my footage and you didn't talk to me about it. Like, I would have been cool. I would have said yes. In fact, if you ask me formally right now, I'll say yes. And you're not gonna go outside. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can sit there if you want, but just don't spite pee. She spite peas sometimes. It's not because she needs to go out. It's because she wants to just go out and like chew sticks and sit in the sun, and it's 90 gosh darn degrees. No, sir. To that I will say no, sir. So let me look through these screenshots to make sure I got the point B to get to. Oh, well, that's 2 of the guy's channel. So there's me. There's me. Hi. And the description says, very privileged to have recently had the opportunity to talk with Anthony Fantano, aka the internet's busiest music nerd, about race and race relations in America. Enjoy. So before I even levy a judgment, what I'm guessing happened here is that he had someone edit his video, or he put it through like some machine or something. Like, I just don't know where you'd come up with that idea. And the thumbnail is like one of those really optimized ones that you can sometimes generate with AI. So I don't know. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. But, and it didn't retain the comments either. Damn it. Well, we had a little scuffle over the comments, and I basically said, like, you know, I'm gonna watch the video to make sure that it wasn't edited, because I'm not gonna copyright strike something that is within fair use. So I was like, you know, it's fine. Well, you know, I'll watch through it, see what happened. That means I had to watch. What? I didn't want this to be disabled. I will actually have to watch through this thing a third goddamn time. You're making me work too much. And it didn't have any edits, which both good and bad. But good in the sense that he didn't try to actually alter anything that I said, or at least nothing that I saw. I didn't go word for word, and I didn't go frame by frame. But overall, I mean, I just had it on in my ear. Overall, I didn't hear anything clipped or chopped up, which in a bad way actually also, like, you know, ruins any defense that he could have against a copyright strike. So I said, I was like, I need you to change. Sorry, I'm burping into the mic. Not very pleasant. So I said, these are the things that I wanted, and this did not change at any point. I said, I need you to change the video and the thumbnail, like edit that shit out. And like, cause there's a thing at the end where I thank him and I say, like, this is my first, like, I'm being nice to the fuck off, you know, like, whatever. And like, so I'm saying thanks, like, you know, you showed respect, I like that, like, we, whatever, like, I this is my first debate. And then it cuts suddenly, it goes bruh, like a one of those like meme TikTok whatever bullshit, and it shows a section of that Anthony Fantano guy's like a video, like a little cutout of his video that said like 3 million views or whatever. So he's clearly trying to pass it off like it was me, like he gotcha'd Anthony Fantano, or like me, like that dude, like me was that dude. And like, isn't it obvious that I'm not that guy? Like, I have hair. Like, right off the bat, that's pretty clear. I don't even look anything like the guy. I think it's just because the glasses? Like, I don't know. The dude doesn't even have face, like he has stubble. I have facial hair. Whatever. So, where am I? That's like, see, I wrote this down so that I wouldn't have to, yep. Yes, okay, so I explained that what he did was not fair use, and I was gonna show you guys the FAQ, but y'all know what fair use is, like most people do. And so his whole thing was that he was like trying to make excuses, like everybody does clickbait, and that's not what was happening here. Like, yes, the thumbnail, I wouldn't have, if like my face was like somewhere off in like the corner of the thumbnail, like peeking out from a bush or some shit, I would have been totally fine with that. But it was the dude's face in the thumbnail, clearly trying to pass it off like it was that dude. So yeah, I take a bit to think about it. I say, you know what? I'm gonna give this guy a chance to just do the right thing, and I'm gonna leave it over the weekend, and let's hope that he comes to his senses, because I don't want to just, this could have been his biggest video, arguably, because he was sneaky and slimy about it, but a win's a win, and I didn't want him to lose that. So he's indignant in his responses over the weekend. I think Sunday was when I got the first response, and so we had a little back and forth over the comments, basically him begging me not to copyright strike his video, and me saying, okay, well, I need an apology, and I need you to change the content of the video and the thumbnail and the description and the title. Get that guy out of there, get me in there. And I was like, initially I didn't even care about credit, but now I'm asking for it. Now you need to tag me, and now you need to mention me. If you're gonna be this fucking shady about it, I might as well make you like run a lap at least. And I think, I don't know at what point, I don't know at what point he tried to contact, I think that was maybe Monday. So on Monday, oh, yesterday, yeah, so Monday, I see this back and forth in my Discord, because I turn my my notifications off every now and again. Don't know why I'm even mentioning that. A lot of people do that. Very normal. Anyway, so he does this weird, like, this is like, it's when you have something, it's when you have like Asperger's. It's like you have no filter, like you don't have a conscience, like someone's not telling you whether something's right or wrong. You still have a sense of right and wrong, but the way that you view things, you don't believe, God, how do you say that? Basically, your views are more important. Like, if you don't view something as wrong, it's not wrong, even if the rest of society says it's wrong. So I think that is a component of being somewhere on the spectrum, which also is bad stuff. I can't highlight? Well, whatever. I'm trying to do a 90s thing. So you can see, you know, he says, tell me to check my inbox, which, oh, my private messages, I assume. Not even asking, not even saying who he is, not even like nothing, just expecting people to like Snap 2, like, fuck you, why? And then just weird, like, this is like some weird, like, trolly, like, you would see this in Path of Exile chat, you know, people just being like, oh, I don't like you very much, I'm gonna tell my daddy. You know, I think it's like, just a sassy sort of thing. I don't think it's meant to be like he's actually trying to pass himself off as my friend. I get that. People are trolls, you know, that's fine. And then I announced that I'll be doing it today. Let me just make sure that there's nothing else useful. No, okay. So then I go to my messages, and in the comments I had told him that my emails were like everywhere because they used to be. I think what I wanted to do was stop using the email that I normally use, and I took it off all my socials at one point and didn't remember. But I added it. I now have I think a link tree. So in case you guys want to get a hold of me on any of the socials, that's link tree. I think should be on all my current platforms. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that is the case. Again, if you're just joining, it's 11:41, so calls are open. I might flip back and forth. I don't know. Calls are open. The topic is MAGA is a cult. Changed my mind. Again, I'll mention that that is an opinion. I'm willing to explain what I mean, and I'm willing to delve into it if you want to know more context, but I'm allowed to have opinions. Change my mind means that I'm willing to hear something that might convince me that MAGA is not a cult. We can work our way up to that, but that's where we're going to start, okay? I'd rather not trail off somewhere else onto a tangent, but if we do, that's fine. Calls are actually open all week, but Tuesdays are when I specifically reserve this 3-hour block for open discussion and debates. So, what's that? I think one of my pups just burped, and it sounded very weird. Yeah? That was you. Looks like one of those stunned goats. Just lying on her side and her feet are just straight out. So, I don't know, is that readable? I can read it to you, but give me 1 second. All right. So let's connect some of this because, again, context is important. And again, I'm not going to just refer back to my other video, just watch it because I would love some engagement on it. You know, I like discussing shit with people, which he could have fucking found out if he had not been super shady and slimy and shit. I'll reserve that for the end of the messages. So obviously, you know, I had to take a look and I realized that my email was not everywhere. Again, that has been fixed. And so, in this video that mentions another person's name, that claims to be a discussion with another person, that is, you know, depicting no one related to me or anything, supposedly, he says, I just tagged you in it. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Featuring. It said featuring. Oh, man. Said I just tagged you in the video, which, like I said, I would have done earlier if you had contacted me privately, which this is a really typical Republican thing. If you're ever arguing with like a manager or like an owner or like someone who's just like really like, you gotta do things by the book, you know, everything's my way or the highway. So people who are narcissistic do not like to be called out in public. And so when you do that, they use righteous indignance. Indignity? Indignance. Indignity is like when you do something wrong. Indignation. There's the word. They use righteous indignation to claim that you, the person who is calling them out, did something fucked up by calling them out. You should have done this with me privately. Well, that's not how the world works, man. I'm sorry, but if you piss someone off, they're probably going to be like, hey, man, you pissed me off. What the hell? I mean, that's just life. If you're too coddled and sheltered to have ever experienced pushback to anything you've ever said, then maybe you need to just get out there in the world and live a bit, man, you know? So, instead of chimping out, which that's what I was saying earlier. character matters. If you are inherently a racist, either you're not going to realize what you're saying is incredibly racist, or you're not going to care. And I mean, that could have been something that he just slipped in to piss me off, or he could have not even fucking realized where the term chimping out comes from. Just saying. That's just a fuck, like, that already is like, go fuck yourself. And was one of the leading contributors to why I chose to copyright strike, again, what could have been his most viral video through shady means, but still. I was rooting for you, man. Fuck. Besides, the audio and video I got was from a screen recording I took of our conversation. Not the video. Sure, I am sure that you could have recorded our conversation and maybe, I guess, hit record while you were watching my stream full screen, but you still recorded my footage. And screen recording I took of our conversation, you had me up in a pop-out window at the top corner of your screen. Why? Do you live in a car? Like, do you not have the capabilities of not playing a video game while you're talking to somebody and trying to have a respectable conversation? Or were you putting everything that you could into the debate only to edit this footage in later like some fucking hack? Sorry about you. So I doubt you'd get far with a copyright strike. Video's gone. Go fuck yourself. Or something, considering I literally just screen recorded my own PC. You use picture-in-picture? I'd love to see you stream that. Show me a Minecraft stream. Do you also physically do that little thing when you talk? Oh, I'm using a fucking sound wave. Oh, it's my icon. Where his fucking background, I'm saying the F word a lot, I'm sorry. Where his background, take a look at that. Title banner. Like, do you just not, I think he just doesn't care. I think he realizes what he's doing. He thinks that people are too stupid to notice. I mean, I'm assuming. Where'd my other window? Oh, there it is. And so I replied, my snarky self. I think I'm always pretty snarky, but this is a good example. So if you're ever wondering just how snarky does Goose get, hey, well, here's an example. You're right on the email thing. I added it back. My bad. You see? People don't have to be indignant when admitting they're incorrect about something. Which, I'll admit, was that's snarky, yes. Absolutely snarky. Here's my literal only problem. You lied, and you're acting like a child, which I stand by. Rules exist. And they do. We can talk about the law in a second, because this is all following the narrative of the message. Rules exist. You actively chose to misrepresent yourself, me, and some dude I don't even know just to get clicks. Real scummy, man. That's child behavior. You seemed like a smart guy. You did. Honestly, you seemed like a smart guy. You really just need to do the right thing here. If you generate a record of acting in bad faith, you will fail, meaning your channel will fail. I don't know if this is something that you hope to turn into a living, but if it is, you need to have a good foundation of people who can trust you, because even if they don't agree with you, they will still steelman you. That's what you don't get. You think that the idea of a debate space where liberals and Republicans can get together and have a civil conversation ends and nobody talks to each other. We are all in this together, and even if you don't agree with everything a person says, you can still have a discourse with them. You prove that in the conversation, and I saw your other video, like the one that you uploaded that was actually depicting the person in it, that was supposed to be in it. That was a reasonable tone, a reasonable cadence, and you displayed a level of intelligence that you certainly didn't display in any of the discourse we had here. You could have done the right thing, and I wasn't asking for much. What is it? What does it say? I was asking for. Where does it say it? Whatever. I'll just keep going through this message. You seem like a smart guy. You really just do need to do the right thing here. If you generate a record of acting in bad faith, you will fail. Regardless of whatever. I had a nice little voice crack there. We're going back to the teenage years. I am not letting you out. Regardless of whatever issues you agree or disagree with, just gonna check the channels real quick. We're good. If you want to call in, the link is in the description, or tell me if it's not working. That is also valid. Regardless of whatever issues you agree with or disagree with me on, this only sets a bad precedent for you. You immediately jeopardize what could have been your best performing video. Seems like it would be a waste, right? Like, doesn't it? Don't you want to do the right thing so that your channel succeeds? Again, if this doesn't matter to you, that's fine. If you're just a troll, okay. Troll on, you know, do whatever you want. People don't say that. Troll on, bro, fellow kid. Troll on, adolescent. So my advice is to go against whatever immediate reaction you have to what I'm saying, because I know in his mind he's just reacting and not absorbing. Don't be your Twitter self, because I looked through your post and I'm begging you to try and be a rational human being here. The guy I talk to, not the guy I see on your feed, which here's where we get into the character argument, okay? As I said, character matters. What you say matters. And I'm not gonna say that. So I sectioned out the funniest things. I didn't section out what I thought was overtly racist, but you can see. Like, what is this? This fucking guy. Pay attention to the way women are dressed. Women covering themselves used to be the standard in polite society. If conservatism is desired in any sense of the word, we need to go back to this. Not sure why we gave Muslims the monopoly on women dressing modesty. Oh man. If you hear someone speaking a foreign language, call the police. See, if he was a comedian, this would be funny. Like, you're holding up a mirror to racism. That would be funny. But you're not. You've argued for racism. Defended it. Oh my gosh. Is that you? Do you have the gold-plated AK? Is that Look at you defending our country from being skinny? What? No. You're not fat, so that's not a that's not a good insult. I'm not an insult guy. I think that's hilarious. Good to see you're married though, if that's you. Hopefully that isn't the guy you hired from Fiverr to edit your videos, because he's an even bigger piece of shit and scammer than you are. So, okay, that was a good insult. Nah, well, you can't. So now it's not. If I said it is, it's not anymore. So that's instantly invalid. Whatever. So yeah, clearly we're working with someone who is displaying their character, right? Well, obviously, you know, that's, I guess we are dealing with narcissism. This just seems like textbook narcissism. You just don't, there's a cognitive dissonance when you hear that you've done something wrong. You're like, there's no way I could have done something wrong. It's got to be you. You did something wrong, not me. Yeah. Admit that you screwed up, meaning admit that you screwed up, either with an apology or just with the words, I screwed up, and either formally ask to use my footage with the appropriate credits. Yes, now I want credits. Go fuck yourself. Removing the other guy's name from anywhere in the video or description. Like, why in the first place? If you don't, regardless of whether or not my copyright strike would be successful, you seem to be under the impression that I'm unfamiliar with fair use and how strikes work, because I friggin' looked it up. Even if I was unfamiliar with it, because I always try to check and double check and triple check to make sure that I'm saying and doing the right things most of the time. I looked it up. I looked at the FAQ, the FAQ. I looked at that. I looked at all the legal language that they use to determine what is and what isn't fair use before even commenting. So, because I was like, what can I do from here? What can I do to either, you know, confront this guy in a way that's going to be reasonable and not, ideally non-confrontational, like ideally non, you know, passive aggressive or hostile or whatever. And how do I save this guy face? Well, I guess commenting publicly probably isn't really, you're not concerned with saving someone face there, which is fine. That's what I did. I did it. Yeah. I don't know, man. So, if you don't, regardless of whether blah, 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 it will still result in your video being held while the litigation is ongoing, which I would absolutely be willing to keep pressing. So, I know that because that's something that happened to me. Someone wasn't happy with an opinion that I had on their burger recipe video, and they copyright striked my video. It was like a 48-hour thing, like where they give you 48 hours to correct the mistake or something. I forget what it is, but there's something that, like a measure that YouTube used to have where they would allow you to correct the mistake before they would take your video down. And I think I was on vacation at the time, so I didn't even see the notification. But so I saw it and I went to go check my video, and the video was held until it said held for review. So, like, I just know that happens. And I also know that SEO means, or SEO optimization has you having to put, has you having to have a video up. If it's going to get viral, it has to stay up. What is it, for longer than like 24 to 48 hours? Like, you have to be able to, I'm not saying this at all correctly. You have to be able to take advantage of the wave, like the initial wave after you post something, where it's shown more often to new audiences. And whether or not someone disagrees with you, they can engage with the thing because it's like controversial, it's spicy, you know. People, I'm sorry, I keep burping. People really glom on to that kind of thing. So it's if you use viral terms and if you use somebody famous's name, it's probably going to generate a pretty good viral wave, and you want to ride that. So you want to keep the video up for at least 3 days so that it has all the juice it's going to squeeze out of that juicy thing. Carrot? That's the first word that came to my mind. Carrot. It's not an easy thing to squeeze juice from. Yeah, I don't know. The heat has boiled my brain. It boiled me. Oh, now we're back at excellent connection. Cool. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Now that I have 0 concurrent viewers, I appreciate it. So, then I say again, literally all you had to do was decide to be a human being here, man. Good faith, as I said before, means something, which I mentioned just a little bit earlier. This isn't your school where you have people who are going to pat you on the back when you pull a chair out from someone. And in real life, you can either be a good person or you can be really good at following rules so that you don't get caught doing the bad things. I didn't put that there, but that's to elaborate. Getting that video tied up in the copyright strike process will absolutely lose you the wave of views that you would be getting around noon today, because that's when shit crests. It's like 11 to 1. That's why I stream 11 to 1. I carved that block of time out specifically for the SEO optimization, and I was gonna post shorts and then point them to my live streams. I've only just started doing that today. Forgive me, I am a very slow mover with this kind of stuff, all right? All right. Again, I'll mention, if you would like to debate the topic, MAGA is a cult, changed my mind, please feel free to do so. The call-in link is on the description of the video and in the Twitch chat near the top. I can also copy it, or I can also paste it again. Shabamalam. Go ahead and join. You will end up in the waiting room, and I will then bring you up into the box. I don't know why I'm explaining how Discord works. That's just what I felt like doing. So, we got plenty of time left. We can have at least one conversation, 1.5 maybe. I don't know. I had like 3 people that wanted to debate me last week. And now what? Y'all dry? Dry AF? Is that a term? I think I might have heard that somewhere. I don't remember. Who cares? I don't care. All right. And so his response is not what I would have expected. There were several times in my life where I taught people for a living. Not anything good. Like I wasn't like a professor, like in a high school. Like I wasn't a high school teacher or anything like that. But I taught people how to cook. I taught people how to operate within a business setting in restaurant/retail. And I would expect a lot of things from people over the years who have shown no aptitude for learning or no respect for authority. And a lot of them aren't as indignant as to resist the urge to do like just a normal human response, like saying I'm sorry or changing the info or whatever, as this guy. And so he says back, dude, it's called clickbait, LMFAO. You vaguely resemble Anthony Fantano. Vaguely. I'd put it at about a 1% match. I'm Latino, first of all, and he looks more Espanolized. Espanolized? He looks more Castiliano, if I was to place him in any Latino group. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything untrue. Yes, you are, specifically in both the title and description, and as well as the last 10 seconds of the video. Completely misrepresented yourself in this statement. No one in their right mind who knows who Anthony Fantano is would think that it's him after watching my video for any length of time, but they would click on it. And if they found the conversation interesting enough, meaning if they liked what I had to say, whether they agreed with it or not, which is why copyright exists, you would usurp my views. Rather, if you had presented it in a truthful manner, then I would have gotten the runoff from your video. Because you would have maybe used other viral terms, or maybe you knew for a friggin' fact that you suck so bad at making videos and debating, just injected that one in there just for sassiness sake, that you have to steal other people's content or you have to lie. Again, a very characteristic trait of the right side of the aisle, and indicative of a cult member. I wouldn't consider, oh wait, I said, and yet there's zero notification in the video, your channel, or anywhere that is not actually the guy. Meaning he said featuring me. And then he said like, AKA my tag in the description. That's all he put. And it was after I had to ask him to remove the content and the dude's face. And then he still argued with me back then about it. And it's like this thing where you're like talking to a little child and they're like, just, I don't wanna. And then they like drag their feet. Fine. Just a tantrum. Just like tantruming out. I watched the entire thing, dude. Come on. I did. I watched to the end. It sucked. Having to watch it again for a third time. All you have to do is be reasonable and not immature prick about all this. If your first reply had been anything other than what it was, literally, this wouldn't be going this way, man. Like I said, I don't even care about the credit. I just don't want to be misrepresented and associated with strangers. The lying is what I don't like. As I said in the fucking discussion we had, if you remember, that's what I don't like. I don't super care if everyone does it. I am not everyone. I am a fucking human being, and I have my own dreams and aspirations just like any other fucking human being. So all I'm asking is to be treated with the base level of respect. Clearly, if you can't treat a stranger with the base level of respect that you would give anybody, then I have to wonder how you treat loved ones and family members. Your in-group. I wouldn't consider a joke to get clicks lying. It's not a joke if you don't say anywhere in it that it's a joke. Sure, if you redefine words, totally. Not represented as a joke, not mentioned anywhere as a joke, and again, the last bit's pretty clear in its message. It's like, bruh, 3 million views. Obviously, you're presenting it like he's lying about it being his first debate. Anyway, none of it matters. None of it matters. Your fucking reasoning over it doesn't fucking matter. Literally all I'm looking for is deference and action taken. That means you gotta say you're sorry, or you gotta admit you did something wrong. Like, you have to show that you're remorseful over your actions. It's sometimes used in a court of law to mitigate some sentencing factors and considerations that a judge might make. So if you're worried about punishment from something, then appealing to them and being deferential and saying, you know what, I fucked up. God damn, I just realized I fucked up. Shit. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm so fucking sorry, I can't believe I did this, and then, like, you know, repent and live in a convent somewhere. Nobody's asking for that. I'm asking again for the base level of human decency that you don't seem to want to show, which again makes me believe that it's just baked into your character. Hey man, and I spoon-fed him a response, and I said, hey man, I'm totally sorry I misrepresented you. I'll change that shit today, man. My bad. Like, that's all I need. Some approximation of that. That's all I want. I just want to be heard. I want to know that you're like, you got me. Fuck, man. I'll change it. I'll change it. Good sport. Yeah. Just that's all I need. I just needed, like, no more pushback. You just sometimes have to be like, okay, I'll eat crow on this one. Do you think I'm actually trying to convince anyone that this conversation with Anthony Fantano, the video is flooded with dislikes right now from Fantano fans who know it isn't him? Right, but you don't see those anymore, and you know that because, again, you proved that you're an intelligent guy. You proved that in our conversation. You proved that you were smart enough to come up with arguments that you seem to think hold water, and you can present them in such a way that I can say, I don't know about that, but I could definitely take a look at the research. That's reasonable. That's intelligent. If you're just reading off a script, I guess, then maybe not, but... And I said, like, you did a fucky-wucky, and all you gotta do is make things right. I don't care, man. Like, super don't care. Don't care how the video's doing. I can see the views piling up. I know it's gonna do well for you. And it coulda. It really coulda. I already gave you credit before I messaged you on here. Wasn't looking for credit. The deed is what I have a problem with, meaning stealing the content and passing it off as somebody else. That's not what that's not giving me credit. I don't care about credit. All you gotta do is respect that. Sure, calling the fire department after you light the fire makes everything totally okay. When were you, like, are you 6 years old? Are you still learning how to share your toys? This is so immature. Such an immature response. I made it clear in the description that it is a conversation with you. No, you didn't. You said Anthony Fantano, aka my tag, after I said something. Even if I had mentioned it privately, you would have still given me all this bullshit passive aggression, like pretending, like false, you know, whatever. Fine. Well, whatever. I changed it. I got the pleasure of debating, which I did. I screenshotted that. Obviously, you are going to if you're going to try and collect evidence for any pushback against a copyright strike. That's what you do by default. If you're just tuning in, it is 12, so I am taking calls. Click the link in the description if you'd like to call in. The topic is MAGA is a cult. It's the same topic as last week, and we're just covering this until we get a call. But as I said before, that is an opinion. I'm willing to substantiate it, but I don't have to prove anything. The burden of proof will shift to you once I've explained my position. That's not my rule. That's just how that works. And I'm willing to go with it. But so that's the stance. The stance is MAGA is a cult. If you disagree with me, I'm willing to hear whatever you got to say. Right after this, if I don't have a call, we're going to start defining what a cult is. All right? Hiya! Where was I? Regardless of any of that, you are not deferential over this. You're just whining that you got caught out. You would have said nothing if I had said nothing. That means you were fully willing to steal content. It's not even my copyright, motherfucker. It belongs to YouTube. YouTube is the one who copyrights the video that I upload onto YouTube. So I struck it as myself, saying that I'm the owner because I am of the footage, but YouTube is the one that cares about that. And you cannot fuck with YouTube. What is it? Who is it? Linda? Is she Susan? Was it Susan? Don't fuck with Susan. I think she's gone now. But anyway, the point is, if you're doing something that's very clearly against YouTube TOS, and this is a good advice for anybody who does anything that might run afoul of the toss. Only do one thing that people can report you for. If you're going to do hate speech, make that the only thing. Be really, really, really good at following all the other rules. And ideally, you're going to try and hide that speech in something else, in like dog whistles and whatnot. But then if you're going to steal content, only steal content. You get what I'm saying? Don't do more than 3 things that somebody can report your video for. It's very, very easy to get your video taken down for a number of different things. Oh, hey, Thomas, I'm just talking about you. What's going on, man? Good to see you here. Thank you for giving me engagement. Appreciate it. And I said, I'm asking you to be a respectful member of the community here, man, because that's literally why we're all here. We're here to build and to maintain a community. And if you're not part of that, you're not going to get views. Like, eventually you're going to ride some viral waves, but if you misrepresent yourself and your content, then people won't want to debate you. That's it. It just has to, you have to have a good foundation of good faith for people to want to even talk to you about anything, you know? Let's see. You're a self-described leftist who is more butt mad about his private property. If you had been here in the last 5 minutes, you would have heard me say that the funniest part about this is that it's YouTube who has the copyright, not me. I'm the owner of the content, but I post it onto YouTube and it then becomes their content. So if you can't read the fair use terminology, that's a you problem, not a me problem. And yes, I am a self-described leftist. When did I... What is that? Is that a bad thing? Well, to you, yeah, but having a political stance is not a gotcha. Sorry you're mad about it. And projecting, clearly. Let's see. And your conduct here is just making things worse, as is your conduct here. You know that you're... If I was to formally ask you to stop talking to me, I'm not right now. If I was, and you continued to do so, then what you're doing right now would be bannable behavior under the TOS, which I assume you still haven't read. So, I mean, insult me all you want. But, like, again, your level of discourse here is just making you look bad. Bro, what does my Twitter have to do with any of this? Well, all the Nazi propaganda certainly lends a lot of insight into the character that you're taking into this and all of our discourse together. So thank you for continuing to reinforce who you are. Like, how hard is it? For real, how hard is it to just capitulate, to just say, all right, I did a thing. I did a fucky wucky. I'm sorry. You can even have that attitude about it. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what, dude? I'm sorry. I fucked up. Happy? That would have been fine. That would have been totally fine. And then you could have kept the video up. Well, I would have still wanted you to make the changes to the title and description. Because, like, as I said before, if you weren't around for the beginning of this stream, I said, I would like for the tide to lift all ships. I would like for us to be able to cross-promote, which is why I wanted to contact you in the first place. And I checked out your channel, and I saw that you stole my content. You chose everything that happened to you in this exchange between us. So, if anyone's mad, it's not me, my friend. Like, how hard is it? Hey, man. And again, you don't need to be spoon-fed these answers because I think that you're smart enough. Hey, man, I don't agree with this or you, but you're right. I thought about it. It's not cool what I did. I'll try to be better in the future. That's emotionally mature. That's a high intelligence score move. That's what a real Chad would have done. Clickbait is not a sin, and I'm not apologizing for it. You asked for credit and I gave you credit. I asked for credit only after you made me mad. I wouldn't have cared. I don't care if you use my footage. You don't even need to tag me in it. But you need to ask me first. That's all that needs to happen. And if you're going to be a dick about it, then yeah, I will tack on putting credit there. Because, like, why would you lose credibility and then think to yourself, you know what, it's him that's the problem. You know what? It's him that's the problem. You're coming after me, coming after my content. You mother fudger. That's you. That's what you sound like. You mother fudger. Are you so coddled at home that you think you don't have to take responsibility when you fuck up? Like, that's truly something that I'm wondering. I have to wonder. I don't, you know, if my wife, like, gets pissed at me for something and I did something wrong, I'll be like, you know what? You're right. That fucking sucks. And I'm sorry I did that. And if I'm mad about it, I'll go take a walk and I'll feel a lot better afterwards. And I will not have destroyed my relationship. Very, very simple. When you fuck up, you just got to be deferential. Not hard. It's just what adults do. Okay, dude, you're clearly on a... Oh, wait, no. Bro, relax. I am stoned like 12 hours a day. There is, because I have a crazy condition where, like, my adrenal glands are always, like, just pumping shit into me. Like, I have the fight or flight response just, like, on by default. I don't know what that's called, but it's just stuck on, essentially. And so one of my therapeutic medications is cannabis, among plenty of other things. Stimulants, government medicine. But chill is a thing that is just etched into my bones, so I don't lose it over really very much. So I am chill. Thank you. I'm relaxed. I'll even take another deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. It's healthy for you. I'm running out of water swiftly. Oh, you still haven't explained what my Twitter has to do with any of this. Again, it's for character context. Do you think that people don't take your character into account when they're, like, trying you in a court of law? Do you think that that's just not a factor? Like, I mean, it is. There is such a thing as character witnesses, character statements. That's part of it. And so the persecution, the persecution in this case, because I am the Spanish Inquisition and nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, the prosecution would absolutely bring up your Twitter history, your Twitter history as part of their character prosecution. So I don't know why you would think it wouldn't matter, because it rounds out the whole image. Well, since I only got half of what I asked for, we'll see how the litigation over takedown goes. Have you ever contested a copyright strike before? I have to wonder, because spoiler alert, it reveals all of your personal information to me. So if you don't want me to have that, you probably don't want to contest the strike unless you think that you have a legal defense, because I will send documents to your house regarding litigation. I will. Because that is how serious I am about being petty and vindictive when someone tries to fuck with me. And I guess that is in some way a power trip, but you chose to put things in this position. You chose to come here and say these things that you're saying. You chose to make the video you did. You chose to respond to me in the ways that you did. You had the choice at every single step to be a reasonable human being, like the dude I friggin' talked to. And you chose not to. It leads me to believe that there is a thing, like something going on. Like you have, I don't know, like you have a complex of some sort. Gave you all the credit you needed, didn't want credit. It's not appropriate for you to demand I change the thumbnail or title of my own video. Yes, it is. If it contains stuff that you can be reported for, it absolutely is appropriate. If you've stolen content, if you're misrepresenting the video, if you're lying about it, and then when being called out publicly, if you are like bitching about it like a little ballless baby, then it's absolutely appropriate. And it gets more appropriate and more tasty about the outcome, because I didn't want to ruin it, but the outcome was very satisfying. Even him coming into this chat right now is just tickling my fancy. Something fierce. I don't even care if we don't have a conversation today. Like, I would like to. Again, if you're just tuning in, please join at the call link in the description. We're open to any and all calls most of the week, but Tuesdays are for specific to the topic stuff. Though even then, that's still pretty loose, so I'm open to whatever. Where are we here? Not appropriate. I wanted the other guy's name gone. I didn't want credit. Again, I wanted you to not misrepresent me. Why continue being slimy? Because again, it feels like if you're this smart and you're being this indignant and you're like feigning this much ignorance, it has to be on purpose. I feel like it's on purpose, man, and that sucks. Sad for you. It means you need to get out of your mom's basement, go have a cheeseburger with some friends, go make some friends, and then do that. I am asking for something really simple. You need to be deferential, and you need to edit the video and change the thumbnail. Full time. Featuring my name isn't truthful. I was like, what does FT mean? Full time? Featuring my name isn't truthful. I'm being really patient with you, man. You're being stubborn, or you're being stubborn isn't going to work. I am not your mom. I've already clarified who I was speaking to in the video. Read the title and description again. No, you didn't. These are pathetic attempts to try and drive me away with sheer ignorance. But I bet you I'm much more petty and resilient than you are. You didn't. AKA me is pathetic. The other guy's name needs to be gone. Bro. At any point in our conversation, did I call you bro? Okay, so read the room. It just makes me view you with even more contempt and even less respect when you use stupid terms like bro in order to try and make a point. I mean, anything could have gone there. I disagree. Or can you explain? Or I don't know. Or really anything. I ate a pizza. It could have been anything. The edit at the end needs to be gone because, again, I think he forgot that I saw that. I'm the creator of the footage you're using, man. You either do that or I strike the video. I'm literally being nice by not even asking and not just doing it. Like, you had 3 days to change the video. And I know that you're fucking perpetually online because you post like 12 tweets a day, and you even came here while I was streaming to try and like, here's an insult, bye. Like, what a coward. What a little fucking baby ball little bitch. Getting indignant over this. Ignorance. You're really eroding that patience and grace, which I had run out of by, I think, 10 o'clock that day. Yeah, I struck it like 15 minutes after this. If you ran someone down with a car, I bet you'd accuse them of being in the wrong for standing on the sidewalk. This is so weird for you. And I spoon-feed him again. Anything he could have said. This is along the right lines. You're right, I'm being a shitbag. Woo, sorry about that. I'll change and re-upload ASAP. Like, it was so easy for this dude to just dive out of here and save some face, or save his upload. And I'm like, I've done it 3 times and you can't even do it once. No point did he ever say I'm sorry. At any point. Never admitted he did anything wrong. Never said he was sorry. Like, I don't even give my staff this much of a spoon-fed way of getting out of trouble. Like, I usually like to let people dig themselves out of holes because most of the people that I encounter are smart enough to do so. Or at least mature enough. Only reason I'm cutting this amount for slack for you is because I think you're a teen who made an honest mistake in judgment. If that's not the case, feel free to correct me. If you're a 30-year-old, you're a 30-something-year-old, like, I don't know, married guy with kids, you should not be acting this immature. In general. Like, what happens if I get any kind of platform? If any of these videos go viral, if any of the clips go viral, and it has your name in it, and you're being, like, disingenuous, that would ruin you. I'm not saying it's gonna happen because I plan on having no platform for as long as possible. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just take steps outside your lane and then, like, not cop to it when you get caught, or be really good at following rules and really, like, actually edit the video and actually contribute to the video and actually make it fair use. That was your other option. You could have said nothing and just taken the video down and re-edited it and then re-uploaded it. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to lie still, but I need to get more water. I'll be right back. Oh, also, I love that he said, who is more butt mad about his private property than a literal ethno-nationalist? Like, you're still trying to, like, inject little, like, hey, guess what? I'm a racist. Hey, I'm a racist. I'm a racist. Like, what? Don't post your L's. Stop posting your L's. It's very weird. Wait a second. You have a humiliation kink. Is that it? I know he keeps, like, he's probably got to keep lurking. I know it. So upset. As far as I know, you are able to upload content you got from YouTube if you add something original to it. That's a simplified way of saying it, but that somewhat falls within fair use, which I did in my video. Nope. Wrong. I added more original content than the average React YouTuber does. Right, but they don't claim that they're talking to somebody else and then, like, represent it, you know, completely inaccurately, and then put, like, a thumbnail there that everything points to that it is this thing. Which, like, all you have to do is be like, you know what? I overextended. I wanted to make it go viral, and I overextended. I felt like it was a really good conversation, and I felt like it was a really, like, it had the potential to go viral, and so, like, I wanted it to, like, ride the wave, and I wanted it to, like, make my channel, and so, yeah, you know, I made some stuff up, and then you just fix it. Like, that's it. That's all that needed to happen. You keep trying to insult me over text. Come on, man. Calling you prick. I think maybe another comment was somewhere where I said something mildly insulting, but come on. A dick? A prick? You really gonna get offended by that? When you probably... I've seen the words you type into Grok. I'm sure I have a screenshot of that. But I'm not gonna show that. You keep trying to insult me over text while simultaneously accusing me of being unreasonable or unhinged. Yes. Your entire string of responses, the way that you treated this entire thing, has been really fucking unhinged. And if you're not gonna do the thing that I asked you to do, you are being unreasonable. I'm asking you to follow the rules. Like I do, like everybody does. Oh, clickbait, everyone does it. Yeah, Russian fucking scam bots, yeah. Do you want to be lumped in with them? Sure. Go ahead. But you don't seem like the type. It seems like, even, like, absolutely, according to your most recent video, it seems like you really do want to try and make a name for yourself in the debate space. So I don't know. I don't know why you'd make those decisions if that's what you want. If you're, which makes no sense. Yes, it does. If you're really this upset to take legal action, you don't have to be upset to take legal action. You have to be protective of the content that you create when you're being misrepresented. That's it. There's no emotion tied to that. It's protecting your account. It's, you know, enabling yourself to be successful within the space that you're trying to create for yourself. That's it. I'm sorry you're getting upset about it. Over someone who you only know from having an hour-long debate with on the internet, then so be it. This is incredibly childish. Yeah, I'm the one being childish. And unnecessary considering I gave you credit, which I didn't ask for. Didn't want credit until you made this a thing, which is the whole point about making a fuss of copyrights. Right, if you want to ignore everything I said, sure. Sure. Or something. I'm not trying to convince you in or out of any action you might take. Yeah, you were. Several times. Now you're just crying like a little bitch baby boy, and you realize you're crying like a little bitch baby boy, and you're like, hey, I'm not a little bitch baby boy. I don't care what you do. Except to say I was interested in talking to you again at some point. What makes you think I would be? If you're gonna lie and be this dishonest and slimy, what makes you think I'd ever want to talk to you again? Which I obviously won't do if you're gonna keep threatening me. Threatening you with what? Following the rules? That's the threat I levied, was that you're gonna have to follow the rules. I'm gonna make you follow the rules. Oh, come on, man! What the hell? Which raises a very good point. Okay, you said that Trump was making America great again by deporting people who aren't supposed to be here. And so what I have to wonder is, are you completely ignorant as to how the immigration process works and how those prosecutions go for that civil violation? Or do you think that you can just make the laws apply to whatever you want, whenever you want? Because that is what copyright law is. It's a law. And we all have to follow it on here, or else we're doing something illegal. And if you're doing something illegal and it's a copyright violation, then it's not a criminal offense. You shouldn't be deported for a civil defense anyway, but you're certainly not going to be deported or put in prison for it. They're going to contact you and they're going to litigate it. They're going to say, either we're going to take you to court or we're going to take your video down. But you don't get to decide to just not follow that law. Just like you believe yourself that immigrants should be deported for entering the country illegally, which isn't even how immigration works. So on both fronts, you've lost, and now you look like an even bigger dick. Well, the UK people would say that you look like an even bigger dickhead, meaning moron, than you looked before. And something tells me that the level of intelligence that you display in your debates says you know exactly what you're doing. I'm doing the Italian thing. Not sure why. Because I love it so much. It really accentuates the thing you're trying to say. I have a bad Italian accent. It is not very good. So, final response was, your first point is covered thoroughly in the FAQ for fair use, which he didn't read, and it's not covered. Insulting you, I called you prick and an asshat. I believe it was asshat. I'm sorry if those words hurt your delicate sensibilities, but you stole my content and you tried to pass it off as somebody else. What did you think was going to happen? I was just going to say nothing? At least I'm not racist. Which I said here, I'm just reading that. Doesn't change anything though. Not your unhinged attempt to claim you're my best friend in the chat, in the Discord chat for some weird fucking reason. Nor, you know, the video. Unreasonable is someone who won't apologize at any point, even given multiple chances to do so, when told that's the explicit thing that I want. Was the only thing I ever wanted, was just an apology. You know what? I screwed up. And now you gotta deal with it. So, what I am upset about is that I was misrepresented for the 5th time now. In this single exchange for the 5th time now, I'm upset that I was misrepresented. And yeah, it's much easier to get pissed at someone you don't know than someone you know. What are you talking about? Like, you have biases towards the people you know. Of course you wouldn't, like, get pissed off at them easier. Like, you're gonna have way more tolerance for that. You're in group. Didn't you read that study? Like, you're just talking about, like, you're basically mentioning something from your study. And again, don't you think it's a little ridiculous that you're calling using the systems that are there for literally what you're doing childish? Not even just a little. Because it did give me a nice chuckle. And I'll say it again. Again, for the 6th time now, I don't want credit. I just don't want people lying about me. That's it. You chose everything that followed. You just had to put on your big boy pants and say you were sorry, but you still haven't. Not even once. Still haven't. I have the chance. Until I block you, you have every opportunity to say that you're sorry. I hope that maybe like 5 years down the road, you've grown a little. Maybe once you hit 20, or at least the mental age of 20, then you might look back on some of the things you said, some of the discourse you had, and you might rethink it. And you might approach it again and be like, this was unreasonable. And then maybe that day you'll be like, I'm sorry, man. And I'll be like, thank you for saying that. Who knows? That's why you're getting your best performing video, likely if ever, if your attitude, or likely ever, if your attitude is any indicator, removed. I'm super done with this back and forth. I gave you so many chances. Shame. I do hope that you're a child, because you're really... What I meant to say is, I think you need to get put back in for just a little longer. You need some more time. You need some more time to cook. Though in your other debate, you sounded just fine. So, could it be you're just being super dishonest? Perhaps. That's just not how things work, you know? That's not how the world works. That's not how life works. Sometimes you gotta follow the rules, especially if they're really easy to follow. What is left in my notes? Oh, yes, okay. So, he didn't refute, and I would have liked to have had a continuing discourse. And in his response video, if I was to react to that, like, you know, if we were to keep a discourse going, like, if he wanted to offer extra arguments or some context or whatever, but he didn't do anything. He just presented the conversation as itself. So I had nothing to go on to argue, to react to. I was going to show it, but it's gone, and it doesn't. My recording of it doesn't need to be shown. It's just already on my channel. So go watch it there. Give me the engagement I should have gotten. 500 fucking views, dude. That could have gone so well for you. Oh, and I would have been so happy. Like, I helped this dude become big. Whatever. So, as far as the points that he raised in the debate itself, one of them was that the what was it? It was the thing I said earlier. As ethnic diversity goes up, tension goes up, and like tension, like feelings of security, feelings of being safe, those all continue to degrade while ethnic diversity goes up, I believe was what his point was. And he said that there were a few studies that proved that. And so I couldn't multitask, so I didn't want to look up the articles. But what I did was, I did look them up afterwards, and I posted them in my video in the description. What they do is, they offer a little bit more context, but they don't specifically prove that diversity is the cause of an increase in tension. What they say is the cause of is minority groups being the outgroups, and people from different countries. It's really not relegated to race. It's relegated to a lot of other factors, but almost never race. Yeah, really, the articles say it a lot better than I could. I found the relevant passage and I put it underneath the link for the articles, so it's in the description of the most recent video on my channel, and it's a good watch. It's our full debate. And another point that he brings up is that I want to try and say it the way that he said it, not how it's written here, because that's how I because that seems more accurate. What was it? He said there was a study that he read and he wasn't sure about it, so he was like, I'm just gonna look it up, and he found it on Google. He said, I'm not sure if that's a trustworthy source. So but the point he was trying to make is that babies, he was like, well, what about that study where babies prefer people to be around people of the same ethnicity? And I was like, that doesn't sound right at all. And so he started making the point, and I was like, wait, no, faces. It's because they like faces. Like that's, I wasn't aware of the study that he was talking about, but I know that just from watching like the you know, the what BBC Earth. It's the one that's like the Known Dark Senate. I haven't played a modern D&D, but I am one of these weekends going to be joining in on a group of friends that are playing Pathfinder, so I'm going to be learning it. I don't know how I'm going to do, but we will be. I think he's going to be streaming it, or I don't know if he's going to be okay with me streaming. I don't know. I am not actually Hungarian. It is the term Hungarian goose is a phrase from a TV show that I grew up watching, and it's just a phrase that always makes me laugh out loud, and that's why I chose it as my username, because I gotta look at it a lot. I might as well chuckle every time I see it. I do like Hungary in general as a country, but that's not related to my username at all. So yeah, sorry if I gave you a preconceived notion. So yeah, I said babies like faces, and the Hungarian goulash. Well, my grandmother is from the old country, so mostly Romani countries. I'm assuming somewhere near the Black Forest. But she was like Germany, Black Forest. But she was like all up in that Hungarian lore. She loved making goulash. That was one of the things that I grew up eating. So you never know. Maybe it was like subconscious in there. You know? I don't know. So I'm curious, would a Star Wars Evil D&D campaign maybe interest you to join its political strategic theme, like collaborate to associate EM as a main villain? I guess maybe I have like some roots there. I don't know. I think because our last name is similar to the term for Romani, and it gives me the impression that when they came over, like Ellis Island days, that because they used to do this for Italians, Spaniards, everyone, they would name you after the region you were from, because there were so many people that just didn't have like surnames, or they didn't have like middle names or anything like that, and so they wanted to put it on like the passports and like the citizenship papers and all that kind of stuff, that you were named after the region that you were from. And so my family was named Romani, and I think it was a variation. I don't think it was Romani. I think it was some other variation, but we basically gypsies. And I know that that's a derogatory term, but I actually like the way that it sounds. So I describe myself as it, but I don't like to describe other people as, I don't like to describe the Romani people as gypsies. Yeah. Learning how to speak Hungarian would be fun, but no, I don't, unfortunately. If I have any accent, it's a Southern accent that I try desperately to hide at all times. It comes out when I am drunk, very, very much so, and if I get going, like if I really start yapping, see there, you see the cut off at the end. Yeah, I mean, the problem with my family is that they just pretended they were rich. They did a lot of thieving, but they really just pretended to have the glamorous lifestyle that people in the 20s and 30s had. We didn't unfortunately get any kind of generational thing going. That would have been cool. A little bit of wealth to follow the act. But if you want to talk more to me about that D&D stuff, feel free to join the Discord. I think there's a link. If not, I'll put one in the chat here. And you can hit me up with all the details, either in a DM or on the channel itself. I am trying to grow the community, so feel free to join it. But it doesn't sound like something I would say no to. Is there a lot of talk in Hungarian? You know? I am, so I'm in Pacific Standard Time. Just so adjust whatever times you need to for that. And I stream 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. But if it's a special thing, I'm willing to adjust that to whatever. As long as I know ahead of time, as long as I can plan for it, you know. But yeah, I'm open to whatever, you know. 10 a.m. Yeah, that's almost exactly within my streaming window, so I could probably start a little early if we did set something up. But yeah, definitely hit me up. I want to get through this this article that I was talking about, and stick around if you want to see. I mean, we haven't had anyone in yet today, but I'm hoping to get somebody to call in to do a little debates about how MAGA's a cult. So if that's something that you find interesting, stick around. If not, Oregon actually, Pacific Northwest, the PNW. But yeah, so feel free to hit me up on Discord. I think that's my main one. I think I have a link tree up for most of my platforms, so hopefully that works. Nuts. Oh, like a Californian. I get it. I'm from California, but I don't know if I would describe myself as the average Californian. I'm not bleach blonde. I'm fat. And let's see. People in California can get old. I wear different clothes, I guess. I don't know. It's not where you're from, it's where you find your home. I mean, it depends on the person, it depends on the region, the city. Like California could honestly be its own country. There's so many different microclimates, including both weather-wise and like politically, socially, culturally. It's crazy, man. There's like a whole Swiss town. There's like a whole town of like you're in Hamburg. Is that Geneva or Switzerland? Whatever. Like you're in the Alps and you can walk around and you can mistake yourself for being in Switzerland. Like it's surrounded by mountains too, like just not as tall as the Alps. So I mean, California's a real diverse place. Big. Shit, I would too if I had enough money to make it work. We got priced out of our apartment in San Francisco, and we were living there for, gosh, 10 years almost. No, we moved into the area in 2011. We spent 2 years in Oakland, living on a lake, which was awesome. The place was only $1,500, and it was like, I think 1,200 square feet. It was huge. It had what was called a butler's room. Didn't even know that was a thing. And it's like a room in between the dining room. So you have your dining room. God damn. Is your aunt looking to give away money? I'll take some. But so it was like we had our dining room, and then we had another little room that had like a table. Like it had room for a table. It had like it was a functioning room with a built-in like pantry where you would put like glassware and stuff. And what I had heard, the lady who showed us the apartment, she was like, this is where they would set up for meals. Like they would get the meals from the kitchen and they would put it at this like staging area, and then they would go and serve it to the people in the dining room. So weird. I assume that probably is what turned into the pass. Like when, oh God, not to get super nerdy over restaurants or anything here, but I think, well, no, it was the bottom floor of a house. Like it was one big like Victorian house that was turned into like 6 units. It was still huge. It definitely was a mansion at the time. But like not to get super nerdy about food here, but in restaurants, I guarantee you, it had 1 bedroom. So in the old days, they used to call restaurant what the word that we now know as restaurant. It used to be, they renovated it in like the 80s, so it was fairly up to date. Restaurant used to be a meal. Like that used to be the name of a type of meal that you would get. And in the medieval days, in merry old English, you would go, you take a trip and you would go on your long ride to wherever, and you would end up at an inn, or a taverna in Spain, or Spanish-speaking country, and you would request a room, and they would give you a restaurant, which is like a hearty meal that is just whatever they had on hand at the time. And it would normally not change. Like, it would change with the availability of ingredients, but it was usually like a stew, something hearty that sometimes was served in a bread bowl. They were living way ahead of us. Oh yeah, I mean, I love to tell stories, and I love to play God, so those would be a DM position would be appealing to me at some point. But I would like to learn a little bit more about D&D before I even consider doing that. Art, did you burp? Man, this probiotic food I have them on is just making them so gassy. It is unbearable. Ay ay ay. Being the villain's fun. Yeah, my dogs. Yep, I have 3 of them, and they're always milling around. One's passed out there on the couch. It's like 80 degrees in here. It is very hot, very hot. She is a pointer whippet mix, and then my little one here is she's like a little terrier. I don't. She's like a mix. I don't know. Like, she looks almost like a like if a Dachshund and a rat terrier were mixed. But yeah, I don't know for sure. All right, so we're done with that part of Discord. Though it is still open. Calls are open if you have if you have a stance on MAGA not being a cult, and you think it might convince me or change my mind, because my current stance is that MAGA is a cult, then please call in. The link is in the description. And as soon as I'm done, let's see. Oh yeah. Basically, I urge you to check out the video and then look at the articles in the description and make your own mind up. But babies are not born racist. I don't know why I have to say that. It feels really, really strange to even have to say that at all. And actually, I take that ultimate villain vibes as a compliment, so thank you very much. But you know, it begs repeating. So again, I still am confused as to why. But babies are not born racist. If there is anyone who was wondering whether or not that was the case, now you know. Empirically, they're not born racist. All right. Do I look like a dictator? Come on. Although playing one would be fun. I did claim to be from the Spanish Inquisition earlier. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. But yeah, I don't mind. I play a villain, I'll play a hero, I don't care. As long as the game is fun, as long as the campaign is fun, as long as we're all having fun together, that's all I really care about. That's the reason why I want to play D&D in the first place, is because the group of guys that I'm going to play with, they all seem like really cool guys, and yeah, it would be a pleasure to join people that are passionate about the same shit that I am. Gosh darn it. That's just life. And this dude that we were just talking about really could have been part of the overall community. You know what? I hope that he does better, and I hope that he learns, and I hope that he finds a way to operate in the space. Honestly, I do. Well, Dark Senate, to sum it up, I really don't want to linger on it, because we did just get done talking about it, but to sum it up, a person who I had my first debate with ever, live debate with, they recorded my content and then they posted it and then called me someone else in the title and description of the video, like basically misrepresenting and lying to get clicks. And I tried to ask nicely several times to change it, and he just got, you know, indignant, turned into a little bitch baby about it. And so I copyright striked his video, and now it's gone. But the last thing I'll say about that is that I hope that he comes back stronger than ever, and that he, you know, finds a way to process what happened, and I hope that he's able to express some deference. But even if he never does, even if I never hear from this guy again, I hope he does well, and I hope that he learns and grows, and eventually maybe changes his mind. But from what I saw on his Twitter, man, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Just from seeing the record of his behavior. Oh, I thank you. Appreciate the dope AF dude comment. And I don't know. I think people, they want to have a channel that is a respectable size, and they want to grow. And I think that sometimes if you've been learning a certain way to live for an extended period of time, you think that that's acceptable behavior. And I think that this guy just convinced himself, oh no, he's on YouTube. I think this guy just convinced himself that whatever he was doing wasn't an issue. And I don't mind that. Like, again, and as I said when I first contacted him about it, it wouldn't have mattered to me if he wasn't misrepresenting me. And if you're gonna lie, like, I can't, like, you're taking the control out of my hands at that point. And then if you're gonna be petty about it, then you're gonna piss me off, and that's actually like making me want to be petty and snarky. So yeah, so that is the conclusion of that. I'm going to, I only talked about this to fill the space while we're waiting for calls, which might not happen today. But again, you're just joining, calls are open, link is in the description or in the chat, I believe. We're debating the topic of whether or not MAGA is a cult. That is my opinion. I'm willing to substantiate that in whatever way I can tell you. Pretty soon, we are going to go over the markers of what a cult is, but that's not only does it lend credence to the point that I'm trying to make, but it also can eliminate a lot of the questions that anyone might have when coming into a conversation about this kind of stuff. So I'm hoping to flesh that out. So thank you. I see your message. I will get back to you, or I'll get to you after the stream, and then we can chat about D&D stuff. I look forward to that. Yeah, go ahead, man. Lurk all you want. You may hear something about cults that you never did before, and you may find something out about MAGA people that you never did before. So never hurts to lurk. Let's see. I was looking for signs. Wait, I might actually have that saved. I've started putting stuff into my history now. Why is that? You know what? I won't worry about it. I have started putting stuff into my... What? Oh, my history. Oh, God. Bookmark. Okay, no, it doesn't say anything about a cult. Fine. Signs. Oh, no. Signs you are in a cult. See, and that's, I think, the guy was saying, his definition of MAGA was just that you support Trump, and I didn't like that he wanted to boil things down and simplify them that much. I think that there are Republicans who do have, who either were on the bandwagon or have recently left the bandwagon, who do have America's best interests in mind. They're starting to dwindle, it feels like, but but those are, I would say, the rhinos now. People are considering them like not real Republicans. Just like, on the other side, there are plenty of leftists who would describe Democrats as not being real left side of the aisle, which to some extent I'd agree. Most of my friends are not Republicans though, and I actually like them more. A simple label never defines a person entirely. You can be misguided, you can be assertive in your belief, and even if that belief is misguided, you can still be a good person otherwise. You can still actually care and then be misguided and still be a good person. So, even if you said like, I know 5 Republicans and one of them's actually reasonable. I mean, that's just because there's a lot of people out there who aren't reasonable, and then there's just a few who are. And sure, people will find themselves flocking together if they are birds of a feather, but his whole thing was that he supported all the things that Trump was doing, and I was like, so then you believe he's making America great? And I was like, what does that mean to you? And he's like, no, that is just that you're just a Trump supporter. And I'm like, that, but you see how narrow that is? That limits the conversation. Whatever. I don't want to. What are you doing? Bothering her sister. I think she wanted to lick her ears or something. She's always like, I don't know. She's weird. The young one is still figuring out how to live in the world. All right, so yeah, I would say calling for or supporting the murder of other like opposing political figures would be extreme. Yeah. All right, how to recognize a cult. Now, these are not universal across the board. Some places, I mean, I just picked the first place I saw on the results. Again, the waiting room is open. The information is in the description, so feel free to join at any time. We do still have an hour left, which is enough time for at least one conversation. So it better be a good one. We vibing. So I think that there are some pretty definitive signs of being in a cult, but the unfortunate part of recognizing these traits is, do I work later in the day? If by work you mean stream, no. If by work you mean work, then I do catering, so that's usually during the evening time, though it's mostly on weekends, if that helps. I don't know if that explains if that answers your question. What kind of food? Honestly, really any kind. I am from the South, but my roots in cooking are French and Italian. But I kind of over the years have just combined everything into a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I wouldn't claim to be an expert in any kind of cuisine, but the cuisine that I think I know the least, or the cultural food I would say that I know the least in like the nuances are probably like Chinese areas. I would love to learn more about Sichuan cooking. I'd love to cook more food from like Hong Kong. Yeah. I charge a negotiated flat rate per head, and that changes depending on my costs and how well I know the person. If a person is like my best friend and I've been, cooking for them for years, then I mean, I'll probably do most of it for free. Like they'll just pay the cost of the food. But if I'm setting up a party for someone, it's probably gonna be like $100 a head. Yeah, it's my company. I own it, but it's not like prestigious or well known or anything. And it's separate from my online stuff. I have a lot of consulting stuff online, which would be seen as a conflict of interest if I had a large online presence for my catering company. So I'll go through a service when I'm hiring people, and I do my finances third party. So I do all the math myself, but I file taxes and stuff. Basically, I can't promote my business online. Like I can't give you the name of the website if I want it to be free of some of the restrictions that you encounter when you're doing consulting, which is more lucrative for me and less work. We had a French restaurant here locally. They charged $400 a meal. It went out of business 15 something years ago. I mean, I would argue that a good percentage of whether a restaurant stays in business is due to the owner, is up to the owner. And I think overpricing food is a good way to drive your own restaurant out of business. But I also agree that some meals are worth $400 a plate. That's really, really subjective, I think. If you have a small restaurant on like a 2-acre vineyard, and you're growing all the food, and you're preserving things, and you're really like, you're making your own prosciutto, like hanging the ham legs to be breezed by the wind, like all that kind of stuff, then it's worth it. I mean, it's because it is a statement and not just food. But if it's like Applebee's, I'm not going to pay $400 a plate. French Laundry is one of the most known and well-respected restaurants in the world, so it depends, but yeah, you can expect to pay anywhere from $400 to $500 a person for the prefix, but it is more food than you will ever eat in one sitting. I know it's ancient, but I did a stage at French Laundry for 3 weeks, and I was there during the taping of the Bourdain, a night at French Laundry, I think. It's a long time ago, and I was on screen for maybe a frame. Yes, but there are a lot of them. They are very small. They're only like 1 or 2 bites each, but there are like 20 of them. By the time you're done eating, you will think that there is no way that you can fit anything else into your belly. Plain and simple. All right, so what is a cult? Well, funny you should ask. A cult, one of the markers of a cult, is absolute authoritarianism without accountability. That means I can do and say whatever the hell I want, and you can't do anything about it. Sound like anybody we know? I'd argue yes. Zero tolerance for criticism or questions. Would you argue that threatening to sue news organizations for stuff they say about you is zero tolerance for criticism or questions? It changes with the seasons, Dark Senate. It changes with the seasons. I think their menus are about 8 at the time that I was familiar with the restaurant, their menus were about 8 weeks out. So they would change every 8 weeks. So it's like every pay period. Every period. Every other period. Well, you eat portions of what you're making. But no, I never actually had a meal at French Laundry. One of my greatest shames. Although I did eat at his restaurant in Las Vegas, which was arguably more modern. I didn't lose video, I turned it off. I have to self-medicate, and I cannot show that on, or I do not like to show that on stream. You might hear a little gurgling. But I also, just so you know, if we're talking about me appearing on your D&D thing, I don't ever medicate on other people's streams. That's like, it's a strict no for me. Unless the stream's like actively encouraging me to do so. But I typically partake only on my streams and only off camera, and I never promote or encourage the use of any scheduled substances. I simply depend on it for medicine. I know, I feel like it's good to say that every now and again. Like, it's good to just hammer that home. Just in case Susan is watching, you know? Just in case she's like kicking up her back feet. Like she's a fucking quadruped. I assume she's in a bathrobe, kicking up her feet, She's probably got like a YouTube like television that connects directly to like videos and like streams in real time and stuff. And she's looking at this going like, I know that guy's about to smoke weed. He better not fucking show it. You know, so it's a delicate tightrope to walk. Twitch, I don't think matters as much. I think I've seen people actively smoke weed on camera on Twitch. But you know, Meta is like, they try to be a bit more strict to protect the kids, which I'm kind of cool with, you know. We believe the children are future. I screwed up all my opportunities, so if I can at least give someone some insight that can help them grow into a more well-adjusted person, then hell yeah. I'm all for it. All right, 1 second. Give me one moment. I will be right back. You hear that? So I only just recently started actually smoking, like combusting it. I was doing a lot of dabbing before. I worked in cannabis for a bit, and I think I'm just now starting to get used to how much more harsh actually putting fire to it is. Oh man. It's tough. It's tough getting up that hill. I drink some more. So yeah, thanks for being here, by the way, Dark Senate. I know you dropped in to talk about D&D, but I appreciate you being here. I know we're talking about more heavy stuff than the subject matter you had in mind, but I think it's important. I carved out a day for this because I think it's important to at least talk about it. And even if I don't get any people debating, even just putting the word out there is really what I'm hoping to do. So, a body of work. If someone somewhere has an argument with someone in their family, and doesn't know how to communicate to them what they're trying to say, like maybe they're acting like they're in a cult, maybe they're really in a cult. But if they like go onto YouTube and they're like, oh, you know, I don't even know what to type in, MAGA's a cult, and then they stumble upon this live stream and then gives them some ammunition to protect themselves, then I'm happy for it. That's what I want. I want to help people. If not directly, then at least I want to help people help themselves. So, so you being here makes all the difference, Dark Senate, because, you know, the more engagement I get, the bigger the channel will get, and the more people I'll be able to reach. And make smile. So, or make mad, I guess. That's also a goal, too. Making people mad sometimes, you know? We do a little trolling around here, I think is the Gen Z term for that. Tomorrow is a good day. Tomorrow is Work Wednesdays, and boy, is it ever. I just picked up Against the Storm. I had played it like a lot. I thought maybe I played a demo, or like I don't know. I thought that I had it, and then I guess I didn't. So I bought it, and I'm gonna play it. And I guess there's some Twitch integration, so that's cool. I don't know what people can do, but it'll be interesting to find out. All right, back to the topic at hand. Number 3 marker for whether or not you're in a cult. Lack of meaningful financial disclosure regarding budget. How long did Trump wait to disclose his taxes? Very long. And didn't he also sue to seal the testimony about the success of his businesses during the last deposition he had the E. Jean Carroll deposition, which failed. And I would say that not really giving much detail, like saying, like lying about your finances, probably falls into that. I would say that's a kind way of saying that you can lie about your finances. Unreasonable fears about the outside world that often involve evil conspiracies or persecutions. We all know this one. They're eating the cats! They're eating the dogs! Like, come on. Conspiracies. He was MS-13, even though that was like photoshopped just to help him see the letters MS-13 in response to the symbols that are on the knuckles. Sir, that's, I believe that's Photoshop. That's just a type. That's a, no, it's not Photoshop. We'll bring it in right now. It's not Photoshop. It says MS-13 right there. It's clear as day. And that there are caravans, and that Barack Obama like doesn't have a birth certificate, or he's like not American or some bullshit. Like, come on, man. It's all out there. A belief that former followers are always wrong for leaving, and there is never a legitimate reason for anyone else to leave. His comments on all the rhinos, his comments about anyone that he shares the aisle with, the same side of the aisle, I mean. Yeah. Abuse of members. So maybe not paying people you work with who should be who are charging you money, or talking shit about people from your cabinet after they say something that you don't agree with in the news. Records, books, articles, or programs documenting the abuses of the leader or group. So Triggered, The Art of the Deal talks about his persecutions. I mean, and plus you have the whole internet who talks shit about MAGA people. And I'm sure that he, you know, says all that shit on his social media. Truth? Yeah, Truth Social. Followers feeling that they're never able to be good enough. So I think that this is like Trump's base. I think that the majority of people who support Trump feel as though they've been abused and neglected and have slipped through the cracks, and they're looking for someone who's gonna shake up the government. And I think a lot of that comes from not feeling like they've had the opportunities that they should have been given. Whatever the base for that is. If the base is racism, then they feel like a minority group is taking opportunities that they should have been given. It could be sexism, transphobia, homophobia, all those things. They come from somewhere, and usually it's a fear or a perceived loss of control. And that means, like, if you think you're going to lose your job to DEI, that's an excellent example of that. And a lot of that comes from insecurity. So one could argue that supporting someone who does ghastly things is a projection of your own insecurity, feeling that you'll never... It's like, well, everybody breaks the law, or well, everybody does clickbait, or, you know, like, you're never going to be a good person. And Christianity does a lot to hammer that into people, especially while they're young. So there's -1 for both the Christianity and MAGA column. I am so tired. I feel like I'm in the future looking back on this as like a video. It's insane. I have not been able to get more than a couple hours sleep for quite a while. My dogs are just experiencing a lot of problems. Like they had stomach issues for a while, and then like they gave each other stomach issues, and then I had to switch one of them's food because she got like pancreatitis, and then like and we recently lost a dog. Like there's just a lot of dog stress in the universe right now. Dog stress. Never thought that would be something I would say. Again, we are only 40 minutes away from the end of the stream. It's okay if we don't have any discussions today. The calls are open all week. Today is just the only day that we are locked into a topic. So feel free to call in anytime, unless I'm obviously, you know, streaming with somebody else. Then I'll be sure to mention that I, you know, am not taking call. You get it. Just use your common sense, you know, read the room. But yeah, so there's still enough time for someone to drop in and have a little convo, little back and forth if you feel so inclined. Link is in the description. Topic today is MAGA's a cult. Changed my mind. I believe something. If you're willing to offer any kind of convincing argument as to why I should believe the opposite of that thing, let me know. And we can take it from there. You know? Next one is number 9. A belief that the leader is right at all times. Have you ever had a conversation with a MAGA person? I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it. When have they ever said that Trump was wrong about anything? And if they did they keep their MAGA status? Probably not. Ousting. Number 10, the nail in the coffin, the nail in the cult coffin. A belief that the leader is the exclusive means of knowing truth or giving validation. Couple that with the conspiracies and you've got QAnon. All the beliefs that people have, the racist beliefs, the otherism beliefs, the nationalism, the you know, the phobias, all of that is part of that. Trump's got the truth to something. He's got the solution to something. If I can't put A and B together, it's because Trump is withholding the truth until the time is right. If you look at the Good Liars last video, when they're not last video, but it was when they were doing some kind of Trump rally or something. I think it was like the No Kings protests. It was the No Kings, not the No Kings protest, but it was the No Kings counter protest. And then I think another one was where they were trying to get into a Trump rally. I don't remember. In any case, you see it a lot. Yeah. That's my train of thought. They're walking along with people and they're talking to them about Trump and yes, yeah, reveal the truth. Thank you, ADHD. This is very common, but in this particular video, there was one particular woman who was saying, like, I think that it's great he's in office, you know, he's finally going to reveal the truth. And one of the guys was like, oh, truth? Okay, oh, yeah, which truth? And she's like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And was just like that. You know, it's exactly the kind of thing that flat earthers do when it's like, you know, I could show you, but I don't feel like it. You're just gonna have to find out. Oh, you know, like conspiracy, like, you know, it's weird. It's whatever. It's fine. You be that way if you want to be that way. But that doesn't mean you're not in a cult. Oh, how do people get involved in cults? I'm willing to read this shit continuously until somebody calls in, okay? If you're viewing this and you're looking for some kind of validation to some bullshit you believe, let's talk about it, but I'm willing to bore the tears off you. How do people get involved in cults? Cults appeal to a person's unmet needs. So basically saying the things that you want to hear, like, let's say if you are a veteran and you feel like Democrats have been passing too many cuts to veterans benefits, or if you are a person who has become racist. I don't know, you may have always been racist, but you're not born that way, so I don't know. Let's say you're racist and you want minorities to be persecuted, and a politician comes along that says, I can take care of them for you. We can make everything a sundown town. How do you feel about that? Those are your unmet needs, right? Even if you don't voice them out loud. Their altruistic nature, yes, because people are generally altruistic. We want to live in society. And the slimy ones just pretend. or a desire to do good in the world. Again, whatever. What is this? Center of Balance Counseling. Is this some like hippie woo-woo shit? Somatic psychotherapist. Dreams? Is that dreams? Anyway, cults find what a person is missing or simply seeking and promise to provide those. Okay, that's the same thing as the first thing you said. Come on. Behavioral control. A cult will dictate how you're allowed to behave. So why does the Venn diagram of Christianity and MAGA followers overlap so hard? This is why. Look at it. Behavioral control. A cult will dictate how you are allowed to behave by the Bible. It is common for cults to have strict rules regarding sex, food, finances, sleep, appearance, decisions, and how your time is spent and who you spend it with. All in the Bible. If you don't behave the way that a leader or group dictates, there are consequences or punishments like going to hell or being ousted from the group. And called the dreaded rhino. Even though rhinos are cool as fuck. Who's talking shit on rhinos? You know? Information control. What information is acceptable to consume or to be exposed to is controlled by the group. Meaning, like, he can very clearly just say, don't watch Fox News, and his followers will not watch Fox News. Very, very simple. Easy peasy. That is just super, 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 super simple. Deception is used from the start when a person is not told what they are getting into initially. Meaning, we just want to save children, we just want to save children. But what they're doing is denying science and then saying that they're going to like put laws against like kids being who they are. Like that's inherently fucked up. Anyway, but yeah, it's saying those kind of like using dog whistles, not only to outside groups, but also within the group itself. Information from any outside source or anything that may challenge the group's doctrines or beliefs are restricted or forbidden. I think that's self-explanatory. Propaganda or only cult-related sources of information are allowed. Like, that's why you make your own platform, like Truth Social. That's why you release your own cell phone made with Chinese parts. Thank you, Made in America label. Deception. Cults work to change the way a person thinks about themselves in the world. True. Spreading disinformation, indoctrinating like kids with this shit. We have now gotten into the next generation of people, and the alt-right is getting scarier and scarier as the years go on because kids keep adopting incremental increases in extremism in shitty views, based on shitty views. So if anything, we are sliding back real like hard. They establish that only a certain way of thinking is permissible, and anything outside that is wrong, evil, harmful, sinful, and will certainly lead to unwanted consequences. Self-explanatory. Questions, analysis, critical thinking, or constructive criticism are not allowed. Anyone who asks, that's why nobody ever tells him no or pushes back against him. They're all like nutless and just followers, and that's the perfect cult member. Questions are framed as being harmful to the group and the leader. Techniques that distract from thinking clearly, such as sleep deprivation, constant work, confusing language, or devotional practices, can all be used to override the rational part of the brain, leaving a person to operate from an emotionally charged and irrational place. Now, I rationalize this, to use ration a fourth time now. So we're passing a bill now that is arguably negative for consumers and people on the very bottom rungs of society. And the idea that's being pushed behind cutting programs or increasing restrictions like SNAP or Medicare and Medicaid, the justification that's floating around for that is that people just need to work. And the deception comes from the idea that anyone's associating people on SNAP or any kind of what people describe as welfare is giving credence to the idea that these people, the majority of which just sit around and do nothing all day. That's the idea that's being pushed. And the justification for it is that people need to work in order to obtain these benefits. The thing is, most SNAP beneficiaries do work at least one job. And the ones that can't work, specifically, they need these benefits more than anybody else. Like there's I don't want to talk about news stories because that's like, they could be biased, whatever. There was a news story that I saw where a woman said that if she had lost her SNAP benefits that she was going to die. I think that's like, you know, extreme term. Like, I think that there's probably still care out there. But restricting it and cutting it, reducing its employees, and encouraging a more stringent work ethic for the American people as a whole could potentially fall into thought control, because if you work more, you sleep less, right? If you, where is this? Yeah, if you are working all the time, that fulfills the constant work criteria. Confusing language, like when they put everything into like legalese and dog whistles and coded language to like, I don't know, confuse the libs. Or devotional practices. Like, did you guys see that dinner, or not the dinner, the board meeting where he was like in the situation room and they were all just complimenting him? Oh, devotional practices to the cult members. Oh, meaning that you were forcing them to do, yeah, so what I said was correct. Emotional control. Cults use emotion by manipulating rational and irrational fears. Fear of loss of control is the oldest and most primal one that we have. The unfamiliar, the reptile brain. They threaten terrible consequences such as being rejected or isolated permanently, like the threats of primarying people that didn't vote for the bill. Because that was one of Trump's tweets. Like, straight up. Punishments such as death, disease, and insanity, whatever. Guilt is used to deem anything outside of what the cult finds permissible and as punishable, sinful, weak, not spiritual enough, etc. There's never a reasonable amount of doubt allowed. Preaching to the choir here. Criteria. Emotions are limited to a narrow spectrum. The alpha male behavior, the you know, toxic masculinity, all that shit, top G, whatever. Small dick energy. There's never a reasonable amount of doubt allowed. Emotions are limited to a narrow spectrum. Anything outside that spectrum is wrong, harmful, or means you are not implementing the group's mandates, rules, or rituals, teaching correctly. Yeah, duh. Yeah, that's another one. A group leader has the only answer to your problem. People are saying that Trump's gonna solve the problems, he's gonna fix the government, and any other way of doing things is wrong, bad, or evil, and that he's gonna fix the government as long as we vote for him, and then if he asks us to do an insurrection, we'll do it. The person leading the group has no credentials and are channeling, receiving, downloading information from some unverifiable source. You know, some have said, and it's a sticky claim, that perhaps, you know, Trump is just a mouthpiece, and one could cite his endless failures in business as a good indicator as to his corruptibility potential. The group or leader is the only person that can intervene on your behalf and can speak directly to some unverifiable source that you can't really be in touch without them. Without them? Oh, be in touch without them. You need to put a comma there. Or not. That wouldn't be a proper place for a comma, would it? It's just bad language. So he's the go-between. He's the Joseph Smith, essentially. And, I mean, if we want to get real esoteric about it, there are people who say that Trump is the Messiah. I think that's probably the minority of Trump supporters. But you never know. I don't know. You need to leave all other ways of thinking, believing, and behaving behind and isolate yourself from others outside this group. Well, Have you ever met a Trump supporter who also supported like Nancy Pelosi's policies and remained a Trump supporter, like wasn't ousted from the Trump group? As long as they didn't drop Pelosi. I don't know. I haven't heard of one. Person has some kind of experience that now makes them an expert, again, without any credentials. For example, I've experienced trauma, so now how to fix everyone's trauma. Yeah, Trump's like, I failed in business, so I'm gonna run the country like a business that I have failed. There's a one-size-fits-all solution for absolutely everyone. Big, beautiful bill. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, that was me. That was me agreeing with it. I mean, I don't think that I need to continue. Like, that was pretty clear criteria for being in a cult. So, did that guy from Tuesday, from last week, demonstrate the criteria? I'd argue probably. You know, if you're gonna be smart and ignorant, feign ignorance, then maybe you got something going on. You know, a little cultish, little bit of a cult mentality there. I don't know, but do better for yourself. Do better for yourself, and just for the sake of, you know, people who may come after you, people who may see your stuff and become irreparably harmed because of it. Perhaps. It's just an idea. You know? And I have ideas. Puppies. Did I cover everything I wanted to? I think so. My chair's wheels don't do what I want them to. Trying to turn the bottom. Chair doesn't swivel. That's like, it's rusted or something. Damn. I just know that hydraulic thing's gonna go shooting right through me. Horrible way to die. Watch this be one of those videos like 5 years later. 5 years later on YouTube, someone's like, little did he know he was speaking the truth. And it was all caught on camera. You know? You know? Well, I wasn't recording that whole time on OBS, so hopefully I can get the video off of YouTube. I'm sure I can. Whatever. All right, well, this is actually a really good place to stop it. My voice got real high pitched there. This is a good place to stop. I want to thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you liked the stuff you saw, or if you want to come back next week and argue with me, if there was no time for you to join today, or if you were otherwise engaged, then please feel free to tune in next week. I think it'll be the same link, so you can take a look at the description on the live and let me know, etc., etc. I am happy to receive messages on social media. I'm happy to respond to whatever messages. I don't know. Send me some shit and I'll get back to you. And Dark Senate, we will talk about that D&D stuff. And yeah, we'll be playing, what are we playing again? We're playing Against the Storm tomorrow with Twitch integration, if that works. I'll try to get it to work. I think it'll work. I think it's easy. You just turn on a button. We'll see about that. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by. I cannot be doing this. Well, I am not doing this. I could not be doing this if I didn't have the spare time, and it helps to have engagement, real engagement with people, whether it's a debate or just talking about stuff we like together, you know. And my payment to you is that I hope that you smile, at least from one thing that I say. So, you know, that's pretty much it, man. I think, did I turn off the music? Oh no, it was just moving on to a different video. Man, that thing's only like an hour and a half, it looks like. Anyway, thanks again so much. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be uploading a little cut down version of my observations of the dude's stuff as an update to the previous video. So keep an eye out for that. Join me on all my socials, and tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am your pal Goose. Hello, but also goodbye. Hello and goodbye.